You don't feel stuck because you're not trying hard enough. You feel stuck because you built your life around an identity that was never actually yours. Today, we're breaking down a simple three-step system that can rebuild who you are from the inside out and why most people fail before they even start. Hi, and welcome to the U World Order Showcase podcast, where we feature life health transformational coaches and spiritual entrepreneurs stepping up to be the change they seek in the world. I'm your host, Jill Hart, the Coach's Alchemist, on a mission to empower coaches and entrepreneurs to amplify their voice, monetize their mission, and get visible. If you're ready to start attracting premium clients without chasing algorithms or hunting people down like a banshee on a mission, head on over to coachesalchemist.com and schedule your free client acquisition audit. It's the first step to building a business where your clients seek you out rather than you having to hunt them down. Today, we are chatting with Ryan T. Reichert. She says tentatively. Ryan is a retired U.S. Army Lieutenant Colonel with 23 years of service, including airborne, Ranger, and multiple combat deployments. After transitioning into the Fortune 500 world, he combined his leadership experience with his personal journey through addiction, recovery, and faith. Today, he's an author, speaker, and servant leader dedicated to helping others break limiting identities and rebuild their lives through purpose, discipline, and spiritual alignment. Welcome to the show, Ryan. It's great to have you with us today.
Oh, thank you, Jill. It's so great to be here.
All right, let me ask you the big question. What's the most significant thing, in your opinion, as individuals we can do to make an impact on how the world is going?
Yeah, I believe it's kindness, which just leads into six simple steps where we smile, we say please, thank you, excuse me, I'm sorry, and repeat it. So I believe that repeat is love once we get to the end of it all, and we just continue to make the world a kinder place.
I love that. I believe that curiosity is the biggest thing we can have rather than having to be right or wrong. Can just be curious.
I love that. Yeah, I think about I think before we hit record, talking about perspective and just the ability to shift literally one step to the left or one step to the right and how you can see the world in a completely different light.
This is probably gonna be way off the tangent, but it reminds me of a thing that Edgar Casey had talked about, that there would be a time when people would be able to see other dimensions because we would just be so open to what is happening around us all the time rather than just caught in the mundane world of this is the experience I'm having right this minute and I am holding on for dear life and I can't possibly accept anything else.
Yeah, I actually like how you put that because I think sometimes, as a recovering addict, we always think to our lives it's either forward or reverse. You're either thinking about tomorrow and 10 years down the road, or you're like, okay, what happened 10 years ago or yesterday? And learning that neutral's an okay place. And what that means is today is like the only place that we truly get to do anything about. And so what are you going to do? What are you always like pursuing like today? Like, okay, I get up, get the kids ready to go. They go to school. I go to work. Like, we got this, and this, and we got a game tonight, blah, 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 blah. And you didn't take any time to just stay in neutral and really go the gratitude that you can have just in neutral. And it took me a really long time to get here. I mean, we're talking, this is almost 2.5 year journey. And it was probably about 2 years into the journey where I'm like, okay, just I'm going to back up and sit into my chair here. And so for those watching can see it, but those listening obviously can't. But it looks like this, just being comfortable, just where we're at and really at ease to it. And you can see different dimensions of it because you can see everyone moving around you at such a fast pace that they repeat themselves. They get all caught up in, you know, what color the sky is right now or what they wore yesterday, all the different sides of it. And just realizing to be present is the present. It's like Christmas every day. Like you get that freedom to be where exactly you're at. You don't have to worry about anything else. And that how do we put it? That's in a very intentional place that we actually get to decide to be in. And so I really love how you kind of like laid that out, different dimensions, because it is, you can see the different dimensions.
You can, and if you can enjoy the experience that you're having, choose to enjoy the experience you're having will become exponentially better. You always have choices.
Yeah, I I actually I speak on that where it literally says that you get to choose. So why wouldn't you choose to just be grateful for everything that does happen, even the worst things that happen to us or we believe happen to us? Embrace that there's something amazing that's going to come from it. If you're somebody that I used to be kind of a Debbie Downer and go like, oh, this you hit the curb and it's like, oh, great. And I got to do the alignment. I probably need to buy a whole set of four new tires. And you go down this rabbit hole, right? And it's like, no, maybe it was just to like pay a little bit more attention when you go around a corner, slow down a little bit, to be a little more present and enjoy that present that comes with it.
And you didn't jump the curb and hit somebody.
Well, there's so many more things. that-
There's always a good side.
there's way more good sides than there are bad because like I said, it's either a lesson or a blessing, and we can really, if we slow down, you can really start to see that. I mean, I think that's what it comes to, and not caught up in chasing dollars and cents and materialistic things and all the stuff that really doesn't matter at all. It certainly doesn't matter when you have major life events happen that cause you to lose the people you love.
I know that you've gone through addiction, and I embraced sobriety about 4 years ago now. And I have noticed some things in my life that are a lot better. And it wasn't like I had to stop. I just chose to stop. Sometimes people choose, sometimes they have to because it's just like death is the other option. The death comes in lots of different ways, ends of
Mhm.
relationships, ends of jobs, and little deaths along the way to the big one that generally shows up. Um, how have you found embracing sobriety has impacted your life?
Yeah, I love just you. So it's really funny because it does really focus on those things, those small deaths, the reality deaths. I went through divorce. I did lose a job that had the title and the pay and all those things. But what came from it in it was I was sober through all of it. I sobered up and, went through separation, divorce, my children, being estranged, losing that job. And I told myself, like I'm not going to drink over it kind of thing. Like I used to drink to celebrate, every day that ended in Y. And if there wasn't something to celebrate, like I'd find a way to celebrate it. And now I get to celebrate the day in just the serenity that comes from I get to choose. And it's my choice. Like to be an author, speaker, coach, like a newfound professions that I never thought I would ever dabble in. I mean, hello, I was failing third grade. My mother's a reading teacher. This is the humor, I think, in certain things where, um, I'm a speaker, so I'm a storyteller, and that's what I did as a kid. I would grab a picture book and I just grab one off the table here and just kind of talk about what I saw in the picture. And everyone's like, man, Ryan's been reading since he was like 3 years old. I don't see how he could possibly be failing. Like, he knows how to read. And no, I didn't. I was just a really good storyteller. So therefore, I was a really good liar. And until the 27th of November 23 rolled around, yeah, I was just a little boy running away from all those fears and anxiety in life that failing was like death. And today I realize that it's only through the truth that you're truly free and you're able to spread your wings and like no one can hold you back because I mean that's the thing. There are three truths. There's yours, there's mine, and then the truth. And so really breaking that down is how I've seen that no matter what, we're all gonna die. So that's like get that. But what does it happen when yeah, you have a 25-year relationship end? I mean, I personally I would think death is easier, right? Because you don't have to know the what ifs for until you're finally healed through that process. And I think the healing was really healing my that inner child that I just never was strong enough to protect, to stand up for and establish boundaries with people, say no, thank you. Um, and it kind of goes back to that kindness piece of just really wanting others to, accept you and be kind to you. And that to me today is getting that, the glass is either half full or it's half empty, and depending on who you're talking to, how they answer that question will tell you where they're supposed to be put in your life, basically right up front. Because if they're not grateful for what they currently have, they'll never be grateful for what you can provide them, nor what they will get more of, or less of. They just can't establish gratitude. For me, it took losing everything to finally truly be grateful for what I have, and that's what's really special today, because I can see the good in all situations, and then be of service where you probably I looked at things beneath me previously until I had my awakening.
Well, that I find that for the longest time, society, especially in the US, pushed people to um, conform into boxes. And I know you were in the military. The military is really big for conformity. They
Mhm.
strip you down so that you were all the same, little little people with buzzed heads. Or I don't know what they do with the girls, but you can't have hair. Remember my daughter with her
I'm
little
sorry,
pigtails
that's too
sticking out.
good. That's too good.
And then they want you to be what they want you to be, and they train you that way, but it doesn't take into consideration who you are, and it doesn't allow you to love yourself. We're taught that being loving yourself and liking who you are, who you came here to be, is somehow flawed and wrong. You must be the way we tell you to be. And so it's produced a whole bunch of people that get into relationships with all the wrong people for all the wrong reasons because they don't even know who they are. So how can you have a relationship with somebody else?
Oh, I love that because, boy, you summed up my 47 plus years in just a couple sentences. I mean, really, how I look at it all is, it's taken all 47 of them to finally love myself and know that this is who I am, and take it or leave it. I mean, I can work on myself, but I mean, deep down, I'm someone who doesn't like to follow the rules. I'm somebody who is going to push the limit of whatever I can under the sun. Like, if you tell me this is what I got to do to make something happen, like I'll beat a hole in the wall kind of thing, and we'll get to the other side of it. When you talk about the box and conforming in the military, I love it because when I was a captain and a company commander heading to Iraq, Tomahawk 6 was his call sign. I won't throw him under the bus. He knows who he is. And he was amazing. But he had the Tomahawk 6, and one of them was there is no box. And he always wanted us to never put our, company, our teams, anything that we did inside a box. He was that guy that we did super cool things. Like, he brought in people from like Universal to have special effects when we trained. So, like, cool movie explosion stuff to make it as realistic as possible for while we were getting ready to head to Iraq. And he always pushed those limits. And I loved it because when you're around leaders like that, boy, you want to talk about bringing that out of inside of you, who you really are. And I'm sure there's times he's probably like, boy, I didn't want to let Ryan out of the cage kind of thing, because of, yeah, I was somebody like, if this was the standard, like, how can we 10x it? I always tell a story of, the 200 guys. We had a big run. It was probably like a brigade or higher run. So 3,500 people in formation for X number of miles, right? And I told the guys, for every fallout we have, we'll run a mile after the run. And so it was a 4 mile run. We had 8 fallouts. So we ran 8 more miles after that event was over with. And the next time we had an event like that, we only had two people fall out. And the next time we had an event like that, we only had one person fall out. And then after that, we actually did them with no fallouts. And I guess what I'm going with this is what that there is no box awakens inside of everyone is that greatest creative. I think today, like writing, gosh, never thought I'd write. I mean, I wrote a thesis to get my master's degree, but that was like, okay, for a master's degree, you write a book for what? I mean, obviously to help people, I guess, when I think of the books that I write, but it was really just what I was doing to heal myself, to get myself healthy through the journey. And I'm like, well, okay, if it works for me, the good Lord said, well, I'm going to put the words inside of you. You just have to type them out, and here we go. So, yeah, the military definitely allowed me to stay healthy enough to make it, all the way through to retirement. But as soon as I did not have that box of conformity, I mean, boy, 18 months, I gained 50 pounds, completely, fell apart, burning it at both ends. And yeah, there was no containing all of that had been held back. Maybe held back is probably the word to use, like, I guess,
Yeah.
because today now, I mean, it's just, how creative can we get? Like how much of the world can we change in the next 50 years that I still have if I get that many, but I know all I have is today. And so how did I change today? I know I've had an impact already. So we're good. And I get to talk to amazing people like you. And I can see the greatness in everything now. And I can see the greatness even when people are talking about where I was, yesterday or 2 years ago or 10 years ago or 20 years ago is that, yeah, it's just our perspective and how we're looking at it because it's somewhere we've never been before and it's scary. We're probably alone and you just need somebody like you or I to show up, jump in the hole with them, and then them to look at us and go like, "You're crazy. Why'd you jump in here? Now two of us are stuck." And I said, "No, thing of it is I know how to get out of here." And then we get out. And so that's what I love so much about it today is every day is beautiful, even if it's raining, snowing, whatever. It doesn't matter. It's beautiful.
I love that. That's really why I do the podcast. I get the chance to talk to people who are all about making the world a better place for everybody else.
Yeah.
So, how do you provide your coaching? You do coaching, correct?
Yes, yes, absolutely. It's really funny how you reflect and everything's obviously 2020 or probably 2010, like perfect vision, right? And the different jobs that I had in the military that I'm like, man, I do not want to take this job. And I don't like this job. And then now looking back, I'm like, no, it was just training me for today. Like literally as an advisor. So I had a number of jobs. We call them OCT, so observer, coach, trainer. And then I did a lot of advising foreign militaries and so forth. And it's like my greatest passion. It's the thing I love the most is able to spend time with somebody, listen to what they want. So I use the focus framework. So it's faith, opportunity, consistency, unconditional kindness, and standard. And I use Ben Newman was my coach, is my coach, mindset and performance coach. He has the Ben Newman companies, and for him, it's yeah, the standard is establishing your non-deviatable program for every day. It looks the same. And so for me, I created the 3 daily wins or your 3 daily wins because I was taking loss after loss after loss in 2023, 2024. And May, the 4-year-old golden doodle that we're talking about before we started all this, is my youngest daughter's dog. But at the time, she would have been about a year. And she's just like me. She suffers from PTSD. She was attacked really, really bad at about 13 months. And so I think she can actually sense someone's spirit and how kind they are of a person, depending on how she reacts to you. And, we're going through the divorce process, and I'm pretty depressed, sober, but depressed. And every day she'd bark at me, get up, take her out. And so our daily win, the first one's physical. And so it didn't look like much in the beginning, but it was one hot lap around the apartment building so she could go to the bathroom. And it was 3 times a day. And then you start to look at, I was reading more and writing more just to, after I was less depressed. So probably wasn't right off the bat, probably about 6 months into this. And basically, we came up with your mental win and then your spiritual win. So at first, it looked like just reading books, taking notes. And then I went to an Alpha course because I was back at church, bought my first Bible. And I joined a men's Bible study. And from there, about 6 months later, that's when we started the business and writing books. And May and I were walking now multiple neighborhoods to the point where she was like, okay, this is getting a little excessive. Let's tone it back. So let's do like a mile in the morning, mile in the afternoon, mile in the evening. And today it looks a little different. We're back to pretty just a couple neighborhoods for her. And then I spend like an hour in the gym, 30 minutes reading my Bible, and 30 minutes meditating every morning. And so those 2 hours roughly every morning are your 3 daily wins: physical, mental, spiritual. And then we say what you do from 5 to 9 locks in your 9 to 5. So you never have to worry about what it's like dropping the kids off at school, what it's like at work, because you got a big quarterly update. You got volleyball practice after school. You got the PTO after that. None of that matters. It all matters. Don't get me wrong. There's no disrespect to what someone's schedule looks like, but you can literally go, I won today because you did those 3 simple things before anybody else was drinking their coffee or doing whatever, because it gets back to kind of what we started about, that routine, that box that we do have to put certain things, certain habits, intentional routines. I call it our protector development spiritual practices. And so you really, that's your standard, what you will not deviate. So it's only 3 to 5 things. So with those 3 things, that means you only get to add two, basically, and you're completely maxed out. And a lot of folks really struggle with that. The limiting beliefs of what matters, what my title is at work, what my salary is, so on and so forth, and all these other things. That, do you have control over any of that? Do you really have control over any of it? And a lot of people will be like, well, yeah, because I've spent 25 years in that industry and so on and so forth. And I'd beg to differ that because of that limiting belief, I believe there's a power greater than myself that'll take that away to show you that it is out of your control. And so we just work on things you can control, which then leads into the unconditional kindness piece. To be a great leader, you have to be kind. A lot of people don't realize that because you don't have to do it all. There's many people that work with you as peers, as subordinates. And if you're kind, they're kind, your customers are happy, your revenue continues to thrive, therefore your profits increase. And it's just an amazing thing. So it goes back to the smile, please, thank you, excuse me, I'm sorry. You repeat that all day long, which gets into consistency. If you do your standard, you're consistently, unconditionally kind. Opportunities start to open up, and we're talking not like little opportunities. We're talking about the big ones, the ones you dreamed of as a little boy or a little girl, start to happen. Like if it's to meet Oprah and Oprah interview you, or whoever your, Michael Jordan kind of thing, like getting to meet them and spend time with whatever it looks like, but the big stuff out there, and not really material things, but those life event things that you're always like, it would be so cool if this happens. You'll start to see those opportunities just fall in front of you. And all you have to do is say yes. And so even if it's something that, you know, comes up, you're like, well, I don't know about this. Just say yes to it, and you're gonna learn. You're either gonna learn from it or be blessed. So it's either a lesson or a blessing. And then it gets into the F, and what you'll see is, for me, this is the only reason why faith is the F, is because I put finances first. I lost those. I put my family first. They went away. Unfortunately, my fitness, I was out of shape because I wasn't doing it. I was like, I'll be fine, no big deal. Like, I don't see how anybody, gains weight after they get out of the military without working out and eating healthy. I mean, that's them, not me. But then when you finally worked on yourself, because that's who we're going to focus on first. Then you can become the amazing father, the amazing mother, and focus on your family because you finally understand what it's like to be present. In the moment, like currently, we're very present, we're very focused. But a lot of people, come into the room and they have no idea. They're like on their phone because they got to get their Uber order in at Target tonight because we don't have groceries in the house. Okay, did I do that? Okay, I did that. Great. Oh, little Johnny, I forgot him. He's at soccer practice right now. And so we just really simplify things so then you're strong enough to take on more things. And basically, it gets back at our childhood traumas, is one we really find with most of the clients as we go through things, is really that's what we're fixing, is something that happened. And it's even for me, being abandoned as a young boy, how long I carried those wounds, and to realize now today that I was never abandoned. I was the one abandoning myself and running from those fears. And yeah, I love it. It's amazing. It took this long to get here. I thought that my military profession was the profession of professions, and it was just 23 years of training. And so, yeah, today I'm finally living in my purpose. I fight for it every day. And so, yeah, the war of purpose built to break is all the struggles we see ourselves. It's not breaking us, it's actually building us. And one day, when we're strong enough, we'll actually know what our true purpose is. And that's the calling that we'll take on, whatever that looks like.
I love that. And it just thinking, yes, I have my three things, and it reminded me of the Navy admiral who I forget who he was, what his name is,
Oh,
but
Admiral McCraven, make your bed.
make your bed. Yes, I make my bed every day.
Yeah.
It's just like it's not an option, and if like one of us gets up first, we have to make our side of the bed.
Yeah. No, it's to me, I'm trying to think what book I wrote it in. It's not me. It's quoted, and basically, it's like the 1%. You can't clean all the dishes. Clean one dish, because what happens is with that movement, you end up like, okay, that wasn't that hard. And then you do two. Oh, that wasn't that hard. Then you do four. Oh, that wasn't that hard. Then you do eight. Next thing you know, they're all done. It's kind of like fold and close. Like I'm somebody as a bachelor where it's like, okay, I don't have anybody telling me I have to take the clothes out of the dryer and fold them. So this is earlier on. I'm actually really good at it now, but it'd be like a week because you have far too many. I think a lot of us, like, you notice it's like, wow, I have 8 sweaters. I have 20 t-shirts. I got a dozen pairs of underwear, a dozen pairs. Like you can go a couple weeks, you still have stuff to pull from out of the drawer. Might not be your favorites, but it's one of those where getting down to having less is actually having more, because you can really, goes back to focus, that
It
simple, on the
hooks.
things that are more important than having all the stuff that we have. I mean, I read an article, I think it was probably last year now. I'm really thinking about like how many art items that we have in our homes, and like a family of four has like 300,000 like items in their like big house kind of thing. And I live in a smaller home today, and I still probably have, I don't know, like 75,000 things. Because you think, look at, I mean, I'll pull this up for those who can see. I mean, how many pencils do I really need? That many pencils like in this thing? There's probably 30 of them in there. um and so, if as we simplify things, the abundance is what comes. That's what flows. The ideas, that actually being comfortable in our own skin. So many things are made by simplifying. That's why people give a lot of to certain. We'll use like movie star. I think of like Simon Cowell on whichever one he's on, the different shows. I know he's been on a bunch, but everyone was like, he either wears a black T-shirt or a white T-shirt, and it's like, yeah, he's simplifying the decisions in his day-to-day life, because if picking out your clothes is a hard decision for you every day, then I can't imagine what life's really, really like. And trust me, I only had to pick like 3 things in the military. It's the same. I wore the same basically
Mhm.
uniform for physical fitness. Then you just go on to the next thing. And then if you're out in the field, you had a few more extra accoutrements you put on. And so I do the same thing now. I mean, I wear Carhartt pants. I wear, this is a sweat. Some people call this obviously a hooded sweatshirt. This is a sweater if you're from North Dakota, I guess, like me. And yeah, t-shirt. Other than that, like don't need much more than that because this is who I am, and I'm okay with someone going like, he looks really sloppy. I can't imagine he was in a Fortune 500 company. No wonder why he lost his job, kind of thing. And it's like, well, no, because the culture there was really cool. This is what we got to wear to work every day, and so that gets the best out of everybody when we're exactly where we're supposed to be. Greatness is the case, but you do have to put the work in. Unfortunately, it's a four-letter word, so is hard. So hard work, two four-letter words, and you get greatness.
Makes eight. Eight letters, and eight's the number of new beginnings.
That's right. Infinity.
Hooks. My husband introduced me to hooks because he was one of those people that A, didn't like to fold clothes, and B, he would leave them around on the floor in a pile. And I'm not good with piles of stuff. Like, I don't believe that you should just wash that one dish, but you should wash that one dish if you just used it. I mean, then you don't have to have 47 dishes. And I've never had a dishwasher. So, and I raised five kids without a dishwasher, often with one bathroom in our house. It's just like you don't need a lot of stuff, but if you can have access to the stuff you have, putting clothes in the drawer makes you forget about them. Whereas if you hang them up on a hook and you're only wearing like, you know, I have a dozen colored sweaters and 10 pairs of overalls.
I love
That's what I wear all the
it.
time. Doesn't matter what I'm doing. I have a dressy sweater that I wear if I'm going someplace important.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's so fantastic though. Just as we have this sign that says love grows closer in small spaces, small houses, small whatevers.
Mhm.
And it's so true when I look at life and how we just kept bigger houses, more stuff, bigger, and the greatest of times were when we were in those smaller houses, waiting for those bigger houses to be built. Like, hey, get an apartment, and then 6 months later the house is finished, moved in the house. Okay, years later we move, whatever. But because the kids would be on like blow up mattresses and make forts and different things like that. And then you get in a big space and you spread out and realize like, yeah, well, we're fighting today because, so and so pulled my hair for the girls and, they'd be in their rooms half a house away from each other. And yeah, you hit it on the head, like not having certain things. Like my mom, yeah, never has a dishwasher in any of her places. And yeah, there's never a dish left in the sink. It's always this. I just think of it too. A lot of people question whenever I'm writing another book, I always announce it. They're like, why do you do that? Like, because like, what if it takes 2 or 3 years to write it? And I said, because I know what I'm doing. And so I want others to hold me accountable. Well, do people actually ask you? And I was like, no, but it's the limiting beliefs that we have so many different times that cause us to stop something. I was having this discussion the other day with a guy, and we are just kind of walking through some stuff that he was working on, and I was like, why do you allow that to limit like where you're going to go with it? Well, I don't want to downsize now, and I'm like, but everything that you're talking about is leading to having to unfortunately pivot a different route, to be redirected. Unfortunately, that redirection is slightly in your mind going backwards, but it's not. It's kind of just a little detour, just kind of like when they in Minnesota, we have 2 seasons. We have winter and then road construction, and we're in road construction right now. And I've been detoured, rerouted a number of different times over the last couple of days. And yesterday I was thinking about that. It was raining, and I was like, but if this wasn't going on right now, I wouldn't have the ability just to sit here and think about a few things. If I was just 65 down the highway, I would nothing significant would be going on. I'd just be, focusing, going back to focus on driving in the rain. And I had like 15 minutes where, we for like a mile and a half stretch, we're kind of just literally just inching along. And so I think we all need that. I think we need to have those moments in our life and to really look at it. And then we also need to have people in our lives that can go, well, is this just a detour? Is this a little redirection? You're not actually, going in reverse into yesterday kind of thing. You're just knowing in your wants of wants right now that you kind of want to go this way with things and you want to take a left instead of a right because you can't go straight ahead anymore. And so, yeah, no, it's
Sometimes
great.
going straight ahead is just you're heading into a disaster that you really even can't see just yet. Like I've lived in big houses and I've lived in small houses, and I'm really toying. My husband has been talking about this for like 30 years about moving into a trailer, like
Yeah,
a fifth wheel size
yeah,
trailer.
yeah.
And I've been against it for a really long time, but I'm getting to a point where, that's not so unappealing to me. I don't need that much space. And smaller space means less to clean, fewer
No,
things. And you
totally.
get to a point in life where it's just like my kids hate coming over to our house these days because it's just like, hey, you're gonna leave, take this, take that, take that.
Yes. Oh, I mean, you realize same. I've been spending a lot of time here in the Twin Cities on the road, just heading to different parts of town that I didn't know. Being a North Dakota boy, certainly didn't know Minneapolis, St. Paul very well, and it's only been a few years. And just like you say, like I would love to have a trailer and just there's so much of the world that I have not seen. And let's just start with like the United States. I think I've been to every state, but like really, like to see it, get on some back roads and enjoy everything that's out there because like you say, it just doesn't you're just in one spot kind of thing. It's I tell a lot of people you should not want for an easy life, kind of thing, because you should learn that you can simplify everything, so you should want a little bit of hard and to show you that, you're resilient and it makes it very enjoyable to go through meet so many different people kind of thing.
I love that. So how can people find you, Ryan?
Yeah, the best place to go is to ourprotectordevelopment.com. That's the company's website, and you can get connected with myself and anybody out there. And when it comes to social media, Ryan T. Reichert or Army RT 1978. And I think we actually have an account out there all over, but I spend most of my time on Instagram, Facebook, and LinkedIn, it seems like. So it's kind of nice that the
Soon to be
majority of
Substack.
folks is just those three. So, yeah.
And soon to be Substack.
Oh, yes, soon to be Substack. I know we talked
Had to
about
throw
that
that in
earlier,
there.
and that is certainly going to happen because I know Jill's going to help me out with that.
I am going to help you out with that. So you offer the War of Purpose Built to Break course over on ourprotectordevelopment.com, correct?
Correct.
And that's free, paid.
That one's paid. We have a 5 minute morning reset that's free. And so that definitely is the 5 minutes every morning that has gotten me to be of sound mind, body, and spirit and really helps you focus on what you're going to do for today. And that is on there. I'm trying to think of other things. There's a few other smaller courses. The War Purpose is an 11 module, like 3 hours with video and worksheets and so on and so forth. So it's definitely the uh, the longer form, I guess, when it comes to really fighting for your purpose and understanding what your purpose is all about in life. And then, yeah, we got the Our Healer, Our Protector podcast. You can find all that out there. And I'm trying to think books and everything else. Pretty much everything's there on ourprotecteddevelopment.com. So yeah, if you check us out there, you can certainly, if you're a reader or more of a listener or whatever it looks like, you can find it out.
Perfect. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Jill.
To learn more about Ryan and to learn more about what he's doing and what his company is doing, please visit ourprotectordevelopment.com and we'll be sure to put that link in the show notes below. Thanks for joining us today. If you're ready to amplify your voice, monetize your mission, and start attracting premium clients, your next step is simple. Head to coachesalchemist.com and schedule your free client acquisition audit. Join us for our next episode as we share what others are doing to raise the global frequency. And remember, change begins with you. You have all the power to change the world. Start today. Get visible.